Hi guys, I'm back. And today we're using Arteza's Premium Acrylic Paints, some of their 8" by 8" canvases, and then these cute little adorable 3" by 3" mini canvases that actually come with their own easels. Now below in the descriptions, I've listed my affiliate links, both for the US and for Europe, which y'all can use if you'd like to purchase any products from Arteza. I've also got the specific links for the products we're using today. Also listed is the link to Arteza's YouTube channel. So they have a lot of cool inspirational projects, some great information, some beautiful paints to work with. So go over there and check out their YouTube channel. As well as I have a coupon code for 10% off your purchase. It's good until January 11th, 2020. So right after Christmas ends, go ahead and go get your orders in and use my coupon code, which just happens to be Heather Wright Art 1. Now, I do get a tiny bit of commission out of each of your purchases when you use my affiliate links. So it's kind of like you're donating to my channel at no cost to y'all. So you go to Arteza's website through my affiliate link, you order some of these paints, some of these canvases, I like these canvases, and I get a small, tiny bit of commission out of your purchase. So, like I said, you're donating to my channel without having to, actually donate to my channel. So, in advance, I appreciate all you guys going to the Arteza website and purchasing these products. They have some really beautiful stuff. It's not just acrylic paints. They have watercolors and acrylic paints and colored pencils and regular pencils. I mean, just a huge variety of stuff. They even have some stuff now directly for the kids. So go check out their website. And yeah, so let's get started. Now today we're going to do a pour on an 8" by 8" canvas. And I'm going to try trying to do a bloom with just the Arteza paints. And my Arteza paints, the only thing I've mixed into them is the floetrol. And I've got a drop of silicone in each one. So no fancy paints, no interior, exterior, house paint, no, anything else. So we're just going to try it and see what happens. So I'm going to set these aside so I don't get paint all over them. And we're going to open up our box of Arteza paints so you guys can see what you're going to get when you order these paints. They've got all the colors listed on the top of the box. Now, right here, it tells you what these little icons mean, and they're actually on the package. I'll show you those in a minute. The pluses are light fastness. So the more pluses, the more light fast it's going to be. These boxes here, the solid one means opaque. The middle one means slightly transparent, slightly opaque, and then the square, the square with the that's empty means completely transparent. And then of course you got pigment number, which really, you guys don't really need to know about. Okay, so you open the box and here you see how bright the colors are. These are actually clear bottoms, so you can see the colors of the paint. So when you mix them up, they actually match the paint color. Now when they dry, the colors are a hint darker. Some of them, like the bright yellow is not going to be really much darker, but just a hint darker, but still very vibrant, very shiny, very pretty colors. So we've got all the colors here: white, yellow, yellow ochre, gold, scarlet red, burnt sienna, crimson red, burnt umber, pale green, phthalo blue, which is my all-time favorite, ultramarine blue, Mars black, and silver. Now, we're not going to be using the acrylics today. We're going to try the acrylics another day. I have a plan for those. And then the Mars black, I want to tell you guys, the Mars black is a really nice, really solid black. It's a black. It's not like a warm black. It's more of a cool black. So it's really a good black to use. Some of the blacks that you get out there are a little too warm, and they look like maybe they've got a hint of brown mixed into them. So I really like this Mars black. And then the titanium white, when it dries, it's like super, super white. Some of the titanium whites out there aren't quite as white. So you got all your colors in there. I'm not going to take them all out because you guys have seen them, but I will take one out and show you what I'm talking about. So we've got let me make sure you guys are in focus. Okay, good, we are. Okay, so you've got the little label at the top. Get your window here to see the color. Your label, phthalo blue. And then you've got the 3 pluses, which means you know, pretty good light fastness on there. Then you've got your square that's divided in half, which means it's partially transparent, partially opaque. So this is, like I said, one of my favorite colors. And your titanium white, let's see if we can find the titanium white. I probably can't. It's probably the last one I'm going to pick up in here. Your titanium white is going to be completely opaque. Okay, here we are. Nope, that's crimson red. Nancy is in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so titanium white. It's completely blocked in. So that means completely opaque. So let's set these aside. And we're going to attempt just a regular, basic flip cup dirty pour. I have my little medicine cup here, my little medicine pill bottle. These work great for the 8" by 8" canvases. This is one of the chunkier ones, but I have 3 or 4 different sizes over there. We're going to use the white today. We're not going to use the black because I want to show how bright the colors are. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do one pour with no white. And then the second pour, we're going to mix white in between each layer to show what the white does when it kind of mixes with the colors. Now, one thing I want to show you real quick before we do this pour. You don't always have to do a dirty pour or flip cup or a tree ring pour or whatever. You can do something like this. Now, I did this a while back. And you can see how beautiful the black is. I've got a little bit of color under there, but this is my Sailboats in the Moonlight. And all I did this with is just the Arteza paints on a board with a palette knife. So I love sailboats. That's why I tend to paint them over and over again. You guys haven't seen much of that, but maybe in the future we'll do, you know, a palette knife painting. I love to do a palette knife painting. I don't get to do very many of them, but they are fun to do. So, you know, you get tired of pouring, you need something new to try. Try just getting a palette knife and, you know, go to town. By the way, that painting is for sale if anybody is interested. I got to tell you guys that. I'm sorry. But as much as I love it, I would like to see it in someone's home. I do need to put a frame around it. So, okay, onward we go. So we've got our little cup here. The only thing I've mixed in here, like I said, was the floetrol and 1 teeny tiny drop of silicone oil. Now, I'm trying to decide what color to start with, because whatever color you start with for this, it's going to be predominant across the board. So that's a tough one. Do we want a darker painting? Do we want a brighter painting? I don't know. I don't usually leave white out of my painting. So let's just go for one of the colors. I don't know. We'll go for phthalo blue, I think. I think. We're just going to do a little bit at a time. And I'm just giving it a quick mix. Now, you guys, I've had this question so often. You know, what am I doing wrong? Why are my cells falling apart? There's a lot of reasons your cells could be falling apart. One main reason your cells can fall apart is your paint is too thin. And you'll be sitting there mixing your paint and you'll think it's the right consistency. So, I'm telling you, it's probably not. More often than not, your paints are going to be slightly on the thin side. So, I'm going to put a little more red on there because I'm going to put the purple down. So, experiment a little bit. Try making your paints thicker than you think they need to be. And see what happens, because I guarantee you it will change everything for you. It did for me. I was pouring for a long time and I was frustrated, wasn't going well for me, and then one day it just, everything came together and it started working for me. But let me tell you, it took a long time. It took 6 months to get to that point. So, you know, for the first 6 months of me painting, you guys didn't see it. Alright, so this should be plenty of paint. I hate to waste paint, but you really do need a little extra paint in your cup. More than what you need for your canvas, because you'll save a lot of cells that way. Okay, so we've got a lovely rainbow effect going on here. We're going to flip that over. Keep our fingers crossed. I do have my nifty little corner catcher here, which is just a, this was a box of cookies. And I just cut up all my cardboard and save it for corner catchers. I'm telling you, this is one of the best things that you could ever keep in your arsenal. This one and a palette knife. Because your cells tend to go off the sides. So when you're tilting it, it's not going to go off the corner for a while. It's going to go off the sides, and you're going to lose lots and lots of cells. They're going to go off this direction, and you're going to be crying. You use a corner catcher, so it catches the cells on the sides, and if you leave it just a little bit loose from just the corner, it lets the paint pour out the corner, but it holds the cells onto the side. So then you tilt it back this way, and your cells come back. Just a little trick there. Ooh, a lot of red. I didn't really expect. But you already see the cells coming up. Just let that sit for a minute. That red is a really pretty red. Now, I have to find my torch. But alright, I mean, you can see the cells coming up without any torching at all. So, but we're going to torch because that brings up a lot of cells. I like to torch before I tilt. If you torch after you tilt, you have a lot smaller cells. See a lot of air bubbles popping. I mixed up my paint last night, actually, which I don't tend to do. But I did it last night so I could save a little bit of time this morning. Okay. So we've got some really pretty rainbow cells. Now here, this is probably going to go off. So we're going to tilt this way first because this is where we've got the pretty cells. And then, because most of your paint's going to go off your last tilt, you want to tilt off the ugliest corner last. Which doesn't sound like it makes sense, but trust me, it does. I'll set that over to the side. Now when you don't use white, you're going to have a way darker painting. Alright, so we've got our trusty corner catcher here. We might want to put just a little bit of paper on the sides. I'm going to put some phthalo blue here. Because I love the phthalo blue, so if more phthalo blue comes through, it's fine with me. And let's put a little bit of red over here as well. And then we'll put some green in this corner. Just because that corner seems to have a lot of green. So then you're going to want to take a palette knife. And I ordered something. And it actually gave me some cheapy little palette knives. So I have several of these lying around. So just push it off of your canvas. That will help your paint to move without rolling over itself. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take our corner catcher. We're going to go off this side first because this is my favorite corner. But you can see how the cells are moving across instead of rolling over themselves. I'm just going to hold the corner catcher a little bit off that corner. And you can see how it's going out the corner, but not off the sides. Now there is a little bit of that side stuff I want to lose, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that back a little bit and then drop it off. And if you pull it off this way, it'll pull your cells down the edge, giving you a pretty edge. Then we're going to bring it back this way. And I don't know. I think maybe we'll go off this, well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe this green corner first. So corner catcher yet again. Hang off the corners there. I can see a lot of air bubbles, but that's because I mixed it all up again this morning. Okay. We need that to stop going off that way. There we go. And you know, you watch your corner catcher, you adjust as needed. Now the purple that I mixed, I'm sorry, I meant to tell you guys, when I mixed up the purple, I did add a little bit of titanium white to it because it was so dark. So you're not going to see a lot of that purple because it's going to be heavier because of the titanium white, unfortunately. So now we're going to go off this corner over here. I'm not going to use the corner catcher because I want a lot, because it needs to come off way up here. Thor, please don't bark. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to bring it back and we're going to pull it off this last corner here. Now these cells right here in this corner have gone a little bit wonky. I'm not real thrilled about that, but it's so bright and pretty. I don't care. So now we're going to take it off of this side. And you can see how the cells are not breaking up. It's because the Arteza paint it's got a lot of pigment in it. And as long as you don't add too much water or floetrol to it, you're not going to destroy the binder in the paint. You need that binder in the paint. So if you add too much water to your paint, you're going to break up your cells. Okay, so that's it. I kind of like these little wavy cells. I love the color here. You see the purple through here and up here. So that's a good balance for that. Always keep a wet washcloth that you can wash over and over again by your side. That way you can just wipe your hands off as you're going along. And you're not getting all nasty and filthy. I'm doing really well. I'm remembering my gloves, so I'm happy about that. So at this point, if you don't want any more little cells to come up, because I'm already seeing, little bitty cells coming up. So I really don't want a lot more of the tiny cells. You can either blow on it to pop the air bubbles, or you can run your torch over it. But running your torch over it is going to bring up more cells. So we'll just do it really quickly. And I see a lot of air bubbles, which I think mostly are from the green, because I had to mix it up with some more water this morning. But there you go. Look how bright and pretty that is. I think it turned out really, really cool for not having any white in it. So we're going to set this one aside. And now we're going to pour one with white in it. So I'm going to move this corner catcher because I probably won't use it again. This is what happens to your corner catchers. They kind of curve, so you can only really use them once or twice. But if you save all your cereal boxes, you've got plenty of corner catchers. Okay, so let's move this over. I think that one turned out really pretty. Let's make sure before we move it. Oh, yeah, you guys are still in focus. Awesome. All right, so we're going to move that over. We're going to do a super quick pour with the whites mixed in. And I'm kind of hoping it's going to make everything kind of more pastel-y. Not really pastel, but you guys know what I mean. So I'm going to get another little medicine cup. These things are so awesome. So we're going to do white between each layer. It's going to be a lot of white. We did one time before with a lot of white in between each layer, and I just loved it. I like to get 2 layers of each color in there, but that's not always possible. So let's go for red. And as you can see on the canvas from before, we mixed all these colors together, and there is absolutely no brown in that painting at all. Thor! Shh! Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. There was some puppy dogs loose in the neighborhood, and they're from down the street. Friendly dogs, but They're not kept in their yard, so my dog had to run out there and tell him, this is my part of the neighborhood and you're not allowed. So, of course, he chased them off. Of course, he can't really chase them off. His barking chases them off because we have a fenced-in yard. So he did a good job chasing them off. They went running back down the roadway there. Okay, I think we got all the colors in there. So we're gonna do probably not much more because we don't need that much paint in there. Let's go for one more red. And I think maybe one more yellow, and that's going to be it. Okay, that's plenty of paint. Put that there. Put one more little dab of white. I don't know why, but just in case. Let's flip that over. Let it sit for a second. Oh, those are some pretty cells in there. Pretty. I'm going to run the torch while we're waiting on this. I'm going to run the torch over the painting really quick. Get rid of some of those cells. Cells. I hope we're not going to get rid of the cells. Get rid of some of those air bubbles. But it is pretty and bright and colorful and just happy. It's a happy painting. It's like from the 60s. Now, I would not know that. I was not born in the 60s, so. But listening to my mom. Ooh, look how pretty. I love it when the white mixes with those. Ooh, so pretty. We've already got the cells coming up. This is popping a lot of air bubbles, but those little air bubbles will turn into cells. There we go. They like. So pretty. Okay. So we're going to take just the white now and pour it around the edges so that we don't lose some of the cells around the edges. There we go. All right. And we're going to take our trusty palette knife there. We'll wipe that off. And just kind of smear off the white. There we go. Okay. That's good enough. Now you can see our cells growing bigger and bigger. I'm trying to decide. I kind of like this right here. I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing looks kind of spacey to me, even though it's not dark colors. It still looks kind of spacey. So we've got another corner catcher. You're just gonna fold that in half, and there you go. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have any of these, you have to make some. You're recycling, which is good for the planet as well. Okay, let's get this. Let's give it one more torch. Pop some of those air bubbles that have come up. Which again will create more cells. So we're going to go off, I think, this corner first, I think. Okay, let's just tilt that baby. Now, I'm sorry that this is a long video. And for those of you who don't enjoy my chattering, I'm sorry. You know, you guys, there is a mute button. You can always push the mute button through the painting if you don't like my chatter. But I do try and give y'all some good information. So I hope that you guys listen. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm chattering, is to give y'all some information that hopefully you can use on, you know, if you're having trouble, or, you know, just sort of pulling with, if you kind of mash on the side and pull your finger off, it'll pull some of that cell action off. Okay, so let's bring it back. I'm trying to decide. I think we're going to go off that corner now. I kind of like that deep red in there. that off and then let it go off. A little bit more. There we go. Bring it back to the center. And let's see. I don't know. I like both sides, so that's tough. I think we'll go off this corner over here. There we go. All right, one more corner. And you can see the paint, the white mixed with the paint a lot, and then it didn't mix with the paint. So you've got some orange cells and some green cells and some phthalo blue and some red that aren't mixed with the white, but then you've got lots of them mixed with the white too, which looks pretty, I think it looks kind of cool. Okay, there we go. Now back. And you see how big those cells got? Okay, back to the center. And there we go. Okay, that's done. I'm not thrilled about this side right here, so I think maybe I'm going to see if I can push just a little bit of that paint off. Not much, just a little bit. See if it'll go off. Because you got a lot of paint on the canvas, you need to get rid of it anyway. Plus then you get bigger cells. There we go. That's better. For me, that's better. I know you guys are probably all yelling at me, but sorry. It's a little more balanced for me now, I think. But, I mean, look how big those cells are. That's what you get when you use a nice paint, you know, like Arteza. So, I hate to even, we've got so much cell action going, I hate to even use the torch, but we do have a lot of. Now you can blow the air bubbles if you get down close to it. I just don't want to stick my head in the, I don't want to stick my head in the view. Just gonna run that over really quick. Okay, so we're gonna leave that as is. We're gonna move it aside, get rid of my corner catcher here. And really quick, we're gonna play with a little canvas and see what happens if we try and make a bloom out of it. We've got our little bitty canvas right here. Let me get something to set it on real quick. Okay, this is another thing you can save. This is an icing container from one of those like cinnamon roll things you get out of the grocery store. So save those too. And they're perfect in the dishwasher. So I don't mean put your paint in the dishwasher. I just mean after you eat the cinnamon rolls and you want to wash it before using it with your paint, put it in the dishwasher. But do not put it in the dishwasher, you know, once you've got paint in it. All right, so we're going to put down a little bit of white. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's going to work. We're just going to try it. And the paints I'm using, I've already poured into little itty-bitty containers because I don't want silicone in this, obviously. So we're going to use some phthalo blue. And, I don't know, maybe we'll use several of the colors. Drop of red. And we'll just use the primaries. Actually, primary colors are really blue, red, and green. But for most people, we'll use that as the primary. Okay. And a little more white in the center. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to blow this off camera. Alright, so that's what we have. It's pretty. And you're not supposed to take your torch to this. But because we're doing the bloom without all the fancy ingredients, I'm going to take the torch to it and see what happens. I would probably put too much white in the center there. So, let's see if there's any way we can blow some of that out. Okay, we've done that. These canvases are so tiny. They're Probably not really meant for like a bloom, but I don't know. Let's pour off the paint. Let's get a little bit on these corners. All right. So there we go. And let's just tilt this baby. We're probably going to dump most of that paint off of there. Well, it's not a bloom anymore. It's just sort of a stretched out painting. But it's still kind of pretty. I think it would make a really pretty little work of art if you poured, you know, sealed it in some way. You pour resin over it, or you know, some of that spray sealant. I'm just sort of putting some more white on the sides there, where we didn't get the paint coming all the way down. I think we're going to dump it off a little more. Sorry, I know you guys can't see that, but okay. There we go. Not really a bloom, but it's kind of pretty, I think. Let's get some white paint out of there and put it, whoops, don't knock it off. You're so little. Let's go back this way just a little bit with it. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so not a bloom, but still, I don't know, it's kind of pretty. Just trying to get that blue to come over the edge there. There we go. Okay, let's torch it again and see what happens now that we've gotten most of the paint off there. But it's a pretty little painting. It's got teeny, 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 tiny little cells. Okay, so my video kind of died there, but if we get in really close without casting a shadow, you can see teeny tiny little cells. Look cute. I like the wispiness of the paint, the way it's kind of swirled around. So I think this, even though it's not a bloom, it doesn't look like the bloom technique, it still looks cute. So let's go over to the first one. There's the first one. Get you in close. Look how bright those colors are. And in a later video, I'll show you guys, you know, how they dried. They won't be quite this bright, but they'll still be nice and bright. So there is the first one. Now the green on there is a little yellower green in real life. And the red is not quite so bright, but for some reason, this phone always videos really bright red. And then there is the second one. I think it's cool. I love the big giant cells. Okay, let's see if I can get you in close, some of these cells. There you go. You can see all the different rings of colors around these cells. I like it where it goes dark right there around the cells. And see, you got all those little bitty cells that have come up, and they've actually, you know, they've grown over the past 10 minutes. There's a little bitty galaxy right there. And look, it's a little bitty, let's see, right there, little bitty alien head. But look at the stripes around the cells. Oh, so pretty. Now, you can see I've got a lot of air bubbles that popped. So, you know, don't mix your paint up right before you're going to paint. Otherwise, you'll have all these little air bubbles that pop and make teeny tiny little pin holes. But hopefully it should dry nice and flat. I'll show you guys this one. Once we're all done, once it's all dry, a few videos from now. Okay, so Big difference between the two just because we added white. But that's what you can do with your Arteza paints. If you guys are looking for big cells, this is a really great paint to use. And bright colors, a really lovely dry finish. Okay, so remember to check out the links below. Check out the Arteza website. Go through my link and use the promo code for 10% off your order. Let me know what you guys think of this paint. And I hope wherever you are on the planet, you're having an awesome afternoon. And thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.